Well, James Wade's reached 17 major TV finals, winning 7 of them. Could he make it 8 from 18? Long way to go yet, but he's seen off last year's beaten finalist Terry Jenkins 6-3 here in Belgium. Well, double conversions won that match for Wade. 60% checkout. He had a slightly lower average than Jenkins, but it's the machine who'll meet either Jelle Claassen or Raymond van Barneveld.
Yes, welcome back to the action. We are coming to you live from Belgium! And this is the Unibet European Darts Championship, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. Well, we are live on ITV Sport, and it's now time to meet our players. And it's time to meet the history maker, Brendan Dolan! And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to meet the reigning champion of the world, the Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson!
Yeah, think about cars, one's a roller and one's a Ferrari, I think. All the way until the end of the World Championships, which he won in incredible style, form and momentum. And then this year he won the first and the last World Players' Championships again. Deja vu.
Omens. Is it a sign that the Flying Scotsman is going to do something ridiculous again in the back end of the year?
60.
He was doing something ridiculous last night with Unibet, popping balloons with darts, blindfolded, and throwing at drones. And just a normal night in Belgium with some dart players.
Oh, that's what happens when you're the World and Premier League champion. You get asked to do silly things like this. You get asked to pose for photos that you don't really want to have taken. Seeing Gary Anderson with a fake horse and a big foam hand, looking slightly awkward. Winner of this one faces Simon Whitlock, former European champion. He was a winner against Magnus Carris earlier on this afternoon. 6-2, pretty impressive from the Wizard as well.
They've only played once this year, these two.
89.
It was a 6-2 win for Dolan.
He's had the better of it in their previous meetings.
Yeah, he's been in the Grand Prix 2012, 2-0.
Yeah, 8-5 the head-to-heads read all told. I mean, they are spread over a long time. You can't read too much into it from games from a number of years ago, but needs another 16. Now he needs tops.
52.
Shanghai for Brendan Dolan for an early break of throw.
Yes, I think Dolan's going to make this a tough night for Gary. To do so, though, he's got to take those opportunities, because I think he's going to get outscored by Anderson. But Gary does have an Achilles heel. He does miss a few doubles.
Well, second bite of the cherry for Brendan Dolan. Missed a dart at tops in his last visit. He's got 3 more darts in his hand right now for 1-0 and a break of throw. Great marker. And that will do. And you can dismiss it all you like, Brendan. You've just broken the throw of the world champion.
Game on.
Chorus of Stand Up If You Love the Darts breaks out here in Hassel with a slight Belgian twang to it. The universal language of darts.
60. 60.
Well, they sing Stand Up If You Love the Darts, and they follow it with visits of 24, 60 and 60, so you should sing something else.
Right kind of crowd for one of my exhibition nights.
Well, Brendan Dolan not even threatening the treble bed with the last couple of visits. More like it from Anderson. Much more like it.
140.
More shocked when they don't go in with Gary on them 180s. So many of them. I call them smooth rhythm throwers. Lewis is the same.
Yeah, when the first two go in with Gary, I mean, sometimes you'll see him chuck the third one with double speed. I mean, it's as soon as he gets it in his hand, it's gone.
Yeah, he just knows it's following it in.
85.
And you'll hear Gary talk about, oh, I used to be a proper player, you know, I used to be really good. You know, now I can't see, I'm getting old, I don't even know if it's gone in the double or the treble at times, but I used to be a top player. I mean, I don't believe a word of it. I think he's as good a player now as he's ever been. And he's looking good here to break straight back. Single 11 leaves him tops, and Brendan's being forced to take out this big one here to consolidate that early breaker throw. 157. Not going to go.
97.
Tops through the break back.
Gary, you require 40. Game show in the second leg. Gary Anderson. Third leg, Gary to throw first. Game on. $59. $74.
Well, already in this one, Brendan Dolan has stolen the dart, so nobody's really asserting themselves on their own throw so far, at least early stage.
Edgy stuff, isn't it? Brendan not on the tour since 2014. Won 5 PDC ranked events though.
Yeah, it took him a while to learn how to win. I mean, he made 8 finals before he managed to get his first one. When he did, they came in a spate, and he was moving on up the rankings. And I remember it was probably at the height of his form when he was saying, I believe I can be a top 4 player. I've beaten all of them,
57.
and I believe that I can keep on going up. At the time, he hadn't slipped down the rankings at all. He'd only ever gone up and up and up.
The main problem he's had once he reached that point, he's never been past the last 32 of the world.
98.
You know, and that's the one, that's the event, that's where the big money is. And, you know, you see the guys that sort of break into that top 10 and then move on. They usually make a semi or a final in the Worlds.
Yeah, of course, he has made the one major final. It's well documented. He nearly gave up the game entirely before he went and made the final of the Grand Prix and hit that 9-darter. Hence, he's got the history maker nickname. As Anderson looks at the 170, and he might just do it, you know. He might just do it. Oh!
45. Brendan, you require 104.
Yeah, a long time ago now, that final, 2011. Yeah, he was going to go back to work as a painter and decorator and
96.
hang them up, but
Gary, you require 25.
fortunately he never.
Double 12 he wants.
And
he gets it. It is a holder throw, and Gary Anderson, when he did win that world title, he was absolutely deadly. Tops and 12s over and over again.
He always felt that it was, you know, he can score with anyone. One thing that used to just niggle is he missed the odd dart here and there at a double, or let someone back in and they take a big shot out, and ultimately he paid the ultimate price in matches. But once he's got them both
55.
working together, he is almost unplayable.
I mean, for me, if anything, over the last 2 years, he's perhaps not as heavy scorer as he used to be, but it's his finishing that has won him tournaments. I mean, we always mention Dave Chisnell missing those 3 darts to beat him in the semi-finals of the Premier League, but then Gary still had to turn up. He got 1 dart at double, he took it out, and then he won the whole tournament.
Yep.
Again, for the 2nd time.
96.
But that's just typical of what Anderson was doing over the previous 15 months or so. He was losing to MVG at the World Championships that spurred him on. He said, I shouldn't have lost that. Now you're going to see the real Gary Anderson.
Yeah, that was a tight one.
He was angry, and he very rarely gets angry, does Gary Anderson. Well, 10-40 keeps him in touch, but Brendan still in pole position to get his first hold of throw on the board and level the match at 2 apiece. There is not much between these two, not in the averages, not in the score at the minute. We are in the early stages. But
60.
It's not Dolan's pace is not going to allow Anderson to flow. It's going to be a toughie. They go varied ways on this one. Wade, we've seen go treble 20 and treble 14, and then he stayed there for double 11, but some players go 51-51 tops.
Well, he set it up very nicely, but the question is, will he get a go at that double 16?
Yes.
54. Brendan, you require
Quite likes double 16, does Brendan Dolan. He's got 3 darts in his hand. Look at the little green bit on the bottom left for 2 apiece with the world champion. Oof, just next door. And that will do very nicely for the Northern Irishman.
Take that. How he's been playing. 2-2. Desmond.
97.
I said earlier that Brendan's beaten all the big guys, and he's made a point of that. You know, I've done them all, but he's one of only 3 guys to beat Taylor in this tournament. He managed to beat Phil in 2012, first person to do so.
Yeah,
after Taylor had won the first 4 European Championships. So he ended his run there. You know the other 2 who beat Taylor at this tournament? You do, but can you remember?
'96.
Go on.
One of them is the Bullet, Stephen Bunting, in a thriller last year, and the other hasn't qualified this year, but a close family member has.
Ronnie Hybrooks.
There you go.
100.
I got there in the end. All I needed was the initials.
Yeah.
And he's from Belgium.
Yeah. All I needed was the extensive family tree. Gary Anderson, don't bust it.
130.
Sets it up very nicely.
This is a better leg. Double after 12 for Anderson. Dolan on the showstopper. Another one of those.
Oh, it looks so good for it as well. It was absolutely
Made for it.
perfect.
Begging.
Gary, you require 40.
Tops for Anderson, and he gets it. It's 3-2, the world champion. Well, there is not much in this. Anderson came into this in great form, but Dolan is putting up a fight. Gary Anderson leads 3-2. A race to 6 for a place in the 2nd round.